Stay tuned and let's check out this Marvel Legends Deadpool and Wolverine. Wolverine. Pow, and welcome back to the channel, Dan Who Reviews. As always, my name is Dan W. Make sure you are following me on Instagram at It's Dan Who. And remember now you can hit that join button and become a channel member as well. Either show some love or join the members club. Much appreciated, because today is a special day. As in front of us we have the Marvel Legends Deadpool and Wolverine, but this is more than just an action figure. This is about what it represents, because like many of you, I grew up with those X-Men movies, and the one consistent throughout all of those weird timelines was of course Hugh Jackman's portrayal of Wolverine. But with Disney's acquisition of Fox and of course the Logan movie, we thought the time had passed and we would never get to see Hugh Jackman don the trademark yellow costume. But that was until Deadpool, and he has not just brought him back into the fold, they are part of the MCU proper, and we now have that in plastic for our collections before the year is out. So I am very happy. But I don't just have Wolverine, of course I have Deadpool as well. How could I not? So it makes me very happy to have these two, and I'm sure like many there are plenty of other characters that make cameos in that film I would love to add to the collection. So I hope there are more figures to come from the Deadpool and Wolverine film. Time will tell, but I'm going to review these separately to give them the attention they deserve. Starting off with Wolverine today. Now it is a very bright yellow, a clean costume. This is clearly before he got into any of those fights from the movie. I do hope to see another one in the future with maybe the bare arms and some battle damage and the bullet holes on the costume, but the likeness on that Hugh Jackman head sculpt is very nice. We get Wolverine on the side, the Deadpool and Wolverine logo, that logo up top, there he is on the side, that same image on the back, a little bit of cross-sale with the smallest 3-figure wave, and we get a write-up that says, a broken and shame-filled Logan reluctantly joins Deadpool's side to fight for their survival and a shot at redemption. So let's not waste any more time and let's get it open. Here we have Wolverine out of the packaging with all of his accessories on the table. Just that one unmasked head sculpt and then some interchangeable hands we'll look at shortly. But first impressions, he is clearly very bright yellow. This is a nice clean costume from early in the movie before he starts getting grubby and starts getting into some fights. But I do really like the costume design here. Of course, it is inspired by many different costumes throughout the comics, but they have made it their own for live action. But it definitely resembles more of the astonishing X-Men vibe, and then later in the movie they sort of made him sleeveless as well. So again, I assume we get that figure at some point, but there's lots of sculpted detail, lots of texture, and he is completely pinless as well, and they're using the nicer thicker claws, but that head sculpt is really impressive. So let's zoom in. So I like what we get with this live action cowl. Sometimes in the comics the black can sort of flare out a little bit too much, where this is very clean cut, it's very sleek, it's very smart, and I like how it's layered on top of that sort of textured yellow base as well, and you can see that texture and that yellow going all the way down the bridge of his nose. Of course he has the whited out eyes as well in that sort of pearlescent white, which is very accurate, and then he's got the sort of exposed chin with a little bit of the beard, and it's just a regular stoic expression. Now it's hard to see the likeness underneath the mask of course, but I still really like the proportions of the head sculpt, and you can see the cowl is very nicely done, and it does have some sculpted line works in it, and you can see those details as the light sort of shine on it there on the side. But as I said, proportionately it's very nice. It's textured a little bit as well, so you can sort of see the lip of the cowl going over the nose, and the head itself is on a dumbbell joint, so I'll show you that articulation in a minute. But I really do think the silhouette is definitely Wolverine all day long. So if I spin it all the way around, you can see that texture continue on the back. So the head itself is on a dumbbell joint, so you get your regular rotation for your Wolverine head. You get a little bit of tilt as well because it's on a dumbbell, but you do get him looking down, and you also can get him looking up a tiny bit as well. Nothing amazing, but enough articulation for some fun poses, absolutely. But we also get the unmasked head. Now if you tell me you can't see Hugh Jackman's likeness, then you must be blind, because it is absolutely there. This is a really good head sculpt. No one can challenge that Hasbro are not doing a good job with the digital face printing tech across their brands, but this could be one of the best yet, because from certain angles this is absolutely Hugh Jackman spot on from this movie. Of course, he's getting on a little bit now, so there's a little bit of ruggedness, a little bit of character in his face, more wrinkles, but I think they've captured it really well here. He's got his beard as well, nicely sculpted across the face. He's got the shorter hair, and I really like how the hair sort of emulates the cowl of Wolverine. So yeah, this looks so good. The eyes are spot on. It looks like you have shrunk the man down in plastic. So good. If I spin it all the way around as well. Now I'll throw up a couple of comparisons to some previous ones just so you can see how it compares to some different Wolverine head sculpts throughout the years, but I think this is probably the best one yet. And we've had some good ones, to be fair, but this is definitely the best yet. But now you have the hard decision of which head sculpt are you going to display your Wolverine figure with? The unmasked Hugh Jackman head, or are you having the cowl on? No wrong answers here. Both are really nice options, but let me know in the comments which one you're picking. Now, I don't mean to nitpick, but I don't actually think this is an accurate look from the movie, because if you remember, by the time he puts the cowl up, he already has the bared sleeved arms. So this isn't actually something we've seen in the film. To make this Marvel Legend more accurate, you'd have to display it with this unmasked head from an earlier point in the movie. But no one can dispute, this still doesn't look like a cool representation of Wolverine. So display it any way you want. Of course, I'm just calling it out before some smart ass in the comments does, but I think he looks great all the same. So let's zoom in and check out some of these details, because everywhere you see yellow plastic, you will see this really nice texture to touch detail throughout the whole figure, and some nice sculpted paneling lines on the costume as well. You've even got some punches of silver here on the torso and on the belt, and of course you've got the red X as well. That belt's a separate piece that you might have to put in the middle out of the packaging, but it does hide the swivel at the waist very nicely. You've also got the ab crunch, so he can crunch forward, and he can also crunch back as well. Now the arms have the shoulder pad attached to the top of the shoulder, so you lift it up and the shoulder will go to 90, so it's in line, but then the arms sort of stuck right there, so you can't get the arms to 90, but you do have the bicep swivel, and then a really nice clean double jointed pinless elbow, which I love to see, with the blue on the inside and then the yellow on the outside with the blue sort of gauntlet, and then the gloves with the really nice claws. So these are the claws we want to see on all our Wolverines. These are nice and thick, they're not warped, they're not those individual ones that just fall out on display, they're pointy to touch. This is what we want to see on our Wolverine, some nice thick claws, so I'm happy about that. So yeah, nice articulation up top. Moving down to the legs, you can see more design, nicely sculpted in with the blues and the blacks underneath the arm as well. Again, this isn't any particular comic outfit, it sort of takes inspiration from different ones. You got the thigh cut right there, the legs go out that much, and you've got the double jointed knee, which is really nice and clean. But look how low down the knee is, like the knee's just above the boot, so he's got like a really long sort of thigh, if that makes sense. That's a little bit odd proportionately, but then you've got the blue and black boots with the ankle pivot and rocker. So overall, you're going to be able to get this guy in some nice poses, and he looks really good just standing there neutral as well. So yeah, apart from the knees being a little bit low, I do think proportionally he looks really good. Now, apart from the two clawed hands, we also get some interchangeable hands, but not a pair. We get one fisted hand, as you can see, so we can punch someone with that hand, and then the other hand is like an open grippy hand, but he has nothing to grip, so you're gonna have to buy him a bottle of beer or something to hold, as that is just an open hand for nothing. So I would have preferred a set of fisted hands, because I don't really know what I need him to hold, but yeah, it's always a bit odd when they only give us one of each, but it is what it is. Moving into comparisons, and let's start off with this sort of Wolverine, Logan, Hasbro, Hugh Jackman timeline, which is really cool to see. We've got the Origins, the Amazon exclusive, the Logan, and now we have our Deadpool and Wolverine, and I think it's already my favourite. The yellow costume is just too iconic for it not to be, and I think technically he's a multiversal Logan as well, as these three I think are meant to be or supposed to be from the same timeline, and Logan then died, but then this is a multiverse Logan, so technically you can sort of justify having them all in the display if you wish, but again, you create your own rules. It is cool to see, and if you want to do some head swaps, you can put the angry expressive Logan on this, but it is a bit of a younger Hugh Jackman. Also, I think the legacy version is the better digital face printing tech, but maybe we'll get a grimacing face for this costume on the bare armed release. That has to be coming, right? Now, I think this new Unmasked Hugh Jackman head sculpt is a little bit too small proportionately for this earlier body, but you can sort of make it work if you wanted to. It works better on the jacketed body for sure. And here we have it on the Old Man Logan suited body as well. And here we have Wolverine next to Deadpool, or should we say Deadpool and Wolverine. Now I'm sure everybody out there would like some other characters from this movie for your collection. So go ahead and let me know in the comments below, who else should Hasbro make from that movie? And technically now he is in the MCU and the whole multiverse. Do you think we will ever see Hugh Jackman interact with some of the more classic Avengers? Just a couple of Phase 4 figures on the table, for example, with Ant-Man and Captain Marvel. But how about this? In Secret Wars, we have Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man interact with Hugh Jackman's Wolverine. Come on, that has to happen. What a moment that would be. And it could be a reality now. Technically, we have now seen both of these two in the MCU in their comic accurate costumes, as in the Multiverse of Madness, we got to see Professor X in the green suit and hover chair. So will we see these two again team up in the MCU? Time will tell. How about Wolverine versus some Outriders? We might just see it one day. Review incoming of these beasts on the channel soon. Subscribe. And for a quick live action versus comic, here we have a couple of recent Marvel Legend Wolverines from the comic world or animated, as that is the X-Men 97 Wolverine. And then we have the astonishing Wolverine from the recent 85th anniversary. And looking at the costumes, it definitely takes more inspiration and nods from the astonishing one, but there are similarities across them all, of course. And as always, let's wrap up with some of the Who crew. So here we have Frogman, Tigra and Hydra Bob. And then last but never least, here we have Captain Britain and Hal Fire Hank. Final thoughts on this Marvel Legends Deadpool and Wolverine. And like I said at the start of the video, it's more about what this figure represents. It is Hugh Jackman finally wearing the iconic yellow costume after all these years, and it's in the MCU, which is a bonus as well. So I just need to decide now how I want to pose it, because technically the long sleeves with the unmasked head is more accurate, but I can't help but just love the way the cowl looks as well. So you let me know what you think in the comments below, but I really like this figure. I do hope we see more from the Deadpool and Wolverine movie. I know we only got a few figures, but remember that film schedule did get moved around quite a lot last year, so at least we had something from the film and we didn't have to wait over a year like we have in the past for previous ones. So let me know what you think in the comments below, but if you like Marvel Legends, you are absolutely in the right place. Check out the videos tabs, watch a live stream, but please hit that subscribe button, hit all and the notification bell, don't miss out on a video, and please hit that join button, become a channel member, either show some love or join the members club. Much appreciated. You can follow me on Instagram at It's Dan Who. I'm on Twitter at Dan Who Reviews, and if you haven't already, now go and check out my Deadpool review, and I will see you on the next one.